Hello and welcome to this Forex Preview at xm.com. We'll be discussing the Bank of England's upcoming policy announcement and the potential reaction in the pound. I'm Maria Pachordes, and joining me is investment analyst Christina Barthenidou. So Christina, due to the ongoing bank turmoil, investors have significantly downsized their rate projections. Forecasts for the Bank of England's upcoming decision are now a toss-up between a 25 basis point rate hike and a pause. What do you think might happen?
Hi Maria, that's right. Investors were kind of confident that the Bank of England would deliver a smaller 25 basis point rate hike this month. But the bank turmoil in the US and Switzerland brought memories of the Lehman Brothers collapse in 2007, making some investors believe that there will be no action in interest rates this week. Well, the truth is that the UK is not strange to financial stability threats. It was actually the first to spook markets back in September when the central bank stepped in with £65 billion to buy government bonds after significant sell-off in bond markets increased insolvency risks in pension funds. Well, the government's mini budget was blamed then for damaging investors' confidence, but that overall made us all wonder how transparent the risk management is, how close financial markets are to a cliff. There might be more, of course, that's not the root of the problem. There might be more similar incidences in the future, given that the rate hike cycle in almost every economy has actually caused significant declines in bond values over the past year, and that will probably keep sending negative spillovers to other assets. On the other hand, however, inflation remains the elephant in the room. The central banks have been determined to bring inflation back to their 2% target, and that could be enough reason for the central bank to vote for a 25 basis point rate hike this week, as inflation in the UK is expected to ease to 9.8% year on year this Wednesday, but that would still be far above the central bank's target. It's actually, the Bank of England has actually signaled that it's not planning to use additional aggressive rate increases to fight inflation during its previous policy meeting. So a 25 basis point rate hike wouldn't violate its guidance. Of course, the economy is not in great shape at the moment, and analysts are still worried that a technical recession could happen this year. So I suspect that this week's rate announcement could be a dovish rate hike, or maybe the last rate hike before the central bank pauses its tightening phase and adopt a data-dependent approach like the ECB did last week.
Okay, turning to FX markets now. The pound was quite resilient amidst the bank turmoil. It managed to close the week mildly up against the US dollar. It also bounced up against the euro. Could the Bank of England's policy announcement help the currency gain more ground?
Indeed, the British pound avoided sharp declines, probably because the bank turmoil was more US and EU story, and I believe that the 25 basis point rate hike announcement could initially help the currency to move higher, because the probability for such rate hike is around 50%. But that could turn to be only a short-lived move in the currency if the central bank pauses its rate hike cycle and signals some period of stability in order to let previous rate increases to take effect. Of course, inflation, as we said before, is still very high at the moment, and abandoning its rate hike cycle from now wouldn't be policy-wise. So in this case, the central bank could just adopt a data-dependent approach, saying that there are probably other tools to monitor financial stability, as the ECB tried to signal when it said that there is no trade-off between financial stability and price stability. CPI inflation figures will be out tomorrow, and then later on Wednesday, the FOMC policy announcement could generate fresh volatility as well. We shouldn't forget that we may get more Brexit headlines on Wednesday, since there's a vote on the new trade agreement Rishi Sunak has achieved with the EU. So pound pairs could experience some extra volatility from these events. Now, technically, there's a strong resistance around 1.2280 against the US dollar, so the pair will have to pound dollar will have to break that wall in order to rally towards the next important barrier seen between 1.24 and 1.25.
Christina, thanks so much. And thanks for joining us at XM.com.